managing anxiety and stress during the pandemic. Have you ever experienced anxiety and stress? If not, I want to be like you. No, just kidding. Most of us experience anxiety and stress. For some, anxiety only. For some, stress only. But most of us experience both, right? Yes. When taking an exam, you feel anxious and stressed because you might fail and get a low grade. There are lots of things that makes us anxious and stressed. But have you ever think about the nature of anxiety and stress? What causes it? According to Cleveland Clinic, stress is defined as the body's reaction to any change that requires adjustment or response. Our body reacts to these changes with physical, mental, and emotional responses. Stress is a normal part of life. We can experience stress from our environment, from our body, and our own thoughts. Our body is designed to experience stress and react to it. Do you know that stress has a positive outcome or impact on us? Yes, it has. It can be positive because it keeps us alert, motivated, and ready to avoid danger. Stress becomes negative when a person faces continuous challenges without relief or relaxation between stressors. Stress also becomes harmful when people engage in the compulsive use of substances or behaviors to try to relieve their stress. These substances or behaviors include food, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, gambling, sex, and even the internet. Let's go to anxiety. According to Healthline, anxiety is our body's natural response to stress. It is a feeling of fear or apprehension about what's to come. Like the first day of school, going to a job interview, or giving a speech may cause most people to feel fearful and nervous. It's normal to feel anxious about moving a new place, starting a new job, or taking a rest. This type of anxiety isn't pleasant, but it may motivate you to work harder and to do a better job. According to Yerkes and Dodson 1908, anxiety is good for us, at least in moderate amounts. Psychologists have known over a century that we perform better when we are a little anxious. Do you know that? Now you know. Today, we are experiencing a global health crisis. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the outbreak of coronavirus disease 2019 or the COVID-19 may be stressful for us. Fear and anxiety about a disease can be overwhelming and cause strong emotions in adults and children, of course. As a part of the global response to the pandemic, the citizens of many countries are having to stay at home. However, prolonged isolation can take its toll on mental health. Based on statistics as of today, May 6, 2020, according to the World Health Organization or the WHO, positive COVID patients are now 3,544,222, and the number of deaths are now 250,977. Here in the Philippines, according to the Department of Health or the DOH, positive COVID patients are now 9,684. Those who died are 637 and the recoveries are 1,408. Some experts said that after this virus, the next problem that we are about to face is the problem regarding our mental health. In our situation today, some people are really stressed because of this pandemic. This pandemic has caused us many problems. The situation is stressful for everyone, and it is normal to be anxious and worried. Everyone responds differently to the effects of this pandemic. If you have a family member or a friend who is worried, scared, stressed, and anxious, try to listen and empathize with them. Some people may want to vent their fear or anger at the situation, while others may want to solve the problem. Now that we are advised to stay at home, sometimes we may feel isolated. Being isolated can be very lonely. People are placed in quarantine or self-isolation may experience a wide range of feelings including fear, anger, sadness, irritability, guilt, or confusion. Some people might feel relieved. Humans are social creatures and need connection to others to thrive, which can make isolation challenging. It feels like we are imprisoned in our own thoughts. High level of anxiety and stress are usually fueled by the way we think. For example, you might having thoughts such as, I am going to die, or there is nothing I can do, or I won't be able to cope. These thoughts can be so strong that you believe them to be true. However, not all our thoughts are facts, and that's a fact. Many are simply beliefs that we hold. Sometimes we have held these beliefs for so long that they feel like facts. Sometimes, even after trying to reduce our stress and anxiety, we may continue to struggle. If you still feel significant distress around COVID-19 and feel like you are not coping well, you may need extra support from someone like your family, a doctor or a psychologist, a psychotherapist, social worker, or other health professional. According to Help Guide, your trusted guide to mental health and wellness, here are some of the ways to cope up, to manage, and to overcome stress and anxiety during this pandemic. And it can also be a way to have a healthy and a happy brain. The first one is to stay informed but don't excessively check the news. The first one is to stay informed but don't excessively check the news. It's vital to stay informed, particularly with what's happening in our community, so we can follow advised safety precautions and do our part to slow the spread of coronavirus. But there's a lot of misinformation going around, and as well as sensationalistic coverage that only feeds into fear. It's important to be discerning about what you read and what you watch. Again, the first one is to stay informed but don't excessively check the news. The second one is to focus on the things you can control. Focus on the things that you can control. We're in a time of massive upheaval. There are so many things that are outside of our control, including how long the pandemic lasts, how other people behave, and what's going to happen in our communities. That's a tough thing to accept. And so many of us respond by endlessly searching the internet for answers and thinking over all the different scenarios that might happen. But as long as we're focusing on questions with unknowable answers in circumstances outside of personal control, this strategy will get us nowhere, aside from feeling drained, anxious, and overwhelmed. When you feel yourself getting caught up in fear of what might happen, try to shift your focus to things you can control. Again, the second is to focus on the things you can control. Next, the third one is to stay connected, even when physically isolated. The third one is to stay connected, even when physically isolated. Evidence shows that many people with coronavirus, particularly young, seemingly healthy people, don't have symptoms but can still spread the virus. That's why the biggest thing that most people can do right now is to make a positive difference, is to practice social distancing. But social distancing comes with its own risk. Humans are social animals. We're hardwired for connection, isolation, and loneliness can exacerbate anxiety and depression, and even impact our physical health. That's why it's important to stay connected as best as we can and reach out for support when we need it, even as we cut back in personal socializing. Again, the third one is to stay connected even when physically isolated. The fourth one is to take care of your body and spirit. The fourth one is to take care of your body and spirit. There is an extraordinarily trying time, and all the tried and true stress management strategies apply, such as eating healthy meals, getting plenty of sleep, and meditating. Again, the fourth one is to take care of your body and spirit. The fifth and the last one is to help others. It will make you feel better. You help others because it will make you feel better. At times like this, it's easy to get caught up in your own fears and concerns. But amid all the stories of people fighting over rolls of toilet paper or lining up outside gun stores to arm themselves, it's important to take a breath and remember that we're all in this together. There's a quotation that says, "We're standing far apart now so we can embrace each other later." It says that for now, we have to sacrifice so that in the later situation, we will be able to embrace one another again. Helping others not only makes a difference to your community and even to the wider world at this time, it can also support your own mental health and well-being. Doing kind and helpful acts for others can help you regain a sense of control over your life, as well as adding meaning and purpose. You can add in these ways writing a journal or a diary. If you can't express your feelings, your thoughts verbally, you can write it through journal or diary. COVID-19 pandemic is the beginning of a devastating economical crisis that will change our societies forever. It is not the end of the world, but of a world. Better, it is a profound crisis of a world, and as such an apocalyptic one, a revealing one. The world is neoliberal globalization whose vulnerable logistical flows and capricious supply chain have been distorted and interrupted by a pandemic, one that they have perhaps contributed to create or at least amplify. This is a challenging time in many ways, a time when it is easy to think and fear for others every day. I was just praying for the safety of my grandparents and my mama who's working abroad and all my relatives in Cebu. I keep on praying that someone will be able to discover a vaccine to this virus. And I am very grateful to every frontliners who is directly working on this virus. And it motivates me to ensure we as a society do what we can to help right now through staying at home and practice social distancing. After all of this, we can never go back to the normal that we used to have. This pandemic has changed us in so many ways. We have to learn from this, or else it will happen again and again. We have applied the new normal. We can overcome all the anxieties and stress if we will apply the recommendations that I said a while ago. There are so many ways to cope up, to manage, and to overcome anxiety and stress. Now, as we end, I want to leave you with this Bible verse that is very applicable in our situation today. This is from 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. It says that, "Cast all your anxieties upon Him, because He cares for you. He cares for us. He cares for everyone." Thank you, and may God bless you.